We're going to speak about Chok Geneva soon. Now we're going to have an introduction to one of the great questions. Hopefully, right before Shavuot, we're going to break this and understand the bottom line. Why is it hard for the human beings? Why is it hard for us? Why is it hard for the human beings? Hard for humans. We'll see in a second. It's an introduction line. To trust, to work, to do everything. Why do we have to sweat?
That's how it was from times of Adam.
He messed up. Let's get into it from in a different perspective. We know that if I take a bottle of water and I pour it on the floor, what happens? If I pour a bottle of water on the floor, it spills on the ground. I throw a rock, it goes down. In our mind, we call that nature, right? What if in one moment I pour a bottle of water and it starts going upwards, the stream of water starts going upwards? Against nature, or like he said over here, nes. We call it a nes, it's a miracle. We have to understand what we call a miracle, what we call a miracle, what we call nature. That the water or the rock, when I put it in the floor, goes down, it's called Ritzon Hashem. It's God's will. God's will that every single time I throw something heavy on the ground, or whatever it is, if it's not helium, it doesn't go up. It's not a gas, it doesn't go up. It's going to fall down. Water I'm going to pour, it's going to fall down. Coffee I'm going to pour, it's going to fall down. A rock, whatever it is, I take it, throw it, it falls. What's the idea over here? It's nature. But we have to understand it deeper. When someone understands this point and says that when I pour water right now, I pour it on the floor, what happens? That's the will of God. The will of God that the water is going to fall down. Now, when I pour the water and it starts going up, this is completely changing my whole perspective in life. Because in my life, until now, I know that what's nature, what's the will of God, is the water to fall down. The second it changes, in my eyes, it's a miracle. It's something that's abnormal. Exactly, for using these terms. So the idea over here is that life would be much easier if God would create all of us with the sense and feel of God. If we'll feel God. If I really had a connection with God, that every single time I throw something heavy on the ground and it falls, or any object and it falls on the ground, and the laws of gravity, every single time the laws of gravity apply, I'm gonna feel a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Imagine that every single time I pour water and if something spills, I pour myself a coffee, and someone pushes me and the milk spills on the floor. If I understood that was Ritzon Hashem, that the water was in the milk would fall on the floor, I'll look at the world differently.
Too easy.
What's too easy?
To feel it right now.
No, it's hard to feel it.
No, I'm saying imagine.
If you had exactly. It will make life better. Why do you have to break? We legit break our heads day after day trying to believe in God, pushing ourselves to tefillah shachrit in the morning, 6:30, 8 o'clock, whatever it is. We always try to push ourselves to the limits, the different things. But we don't understand the secret is right under our nose. That every single small thing that connects with nature connects with us to God. Now, this question gets much stronger when we look at if we look around us on the animals around. If we look at all the creations besides us, animals, plants, rocks, and even malachim. Malachim, there's so many different levels of malachim, of angels, and all of them know one thing: that God is the only entity and God is the only one. They have the complete feel of godliness. They know who godliness is, and they want. There's nothing. You don't change any perspective. All the angels know it. But the same thing is by the animals. Animals, no difference. God created them, and they cannot do anything more than what they were created for. That means the animal right now, it's like you can't go against the animalistic soul. The animalistic soul right now is hungry. He's going to eat. There's food behind the gate. He's going to try to hit his head or jump over, try to do whatever it is to get the food behind the gate. Why? Doesn't care. All he wants is the food. The wall hit the wall. A couple times it hit the wall, head in the wall until he gets the food. Why? Because that's animalistic soul. That's how I'm tired. I'm going to fall asleep right here. In a certain way, it's created the way God wants to create it with all the limits. That's it. That was his purpose in life, is to eat grass, and there's a purpose to slaughter it for korbanot, or to say a bracha on it, to say a blessing on it. But more than that, nothing. The cows, what does that give us more than that? Milk. Okay. Now, to understand another level of this, the plants also, they grow to their potential. How do I know what's the plant potential of a tree? Usually they tell a child you have to get to your full potential. What's the full potential of a tree? Where it got to after 20 years, whatever, before they cut it down. That's the potential. Where it got to. That's it. That was the potential it stood. But human beings, something's different. Something's completely complex and different over here. When we understand that the key point over here, the key to open all these locks are one thing: having free will. Being human, you have free will, but it comes with a lot of pain. Why? Because it looks to us, it looks when the lion chases the elk, whatever it is, the deer, to try to eat it up. It looks like it's hard for the lion. It's running, it has to go. Where the bottom line, that's nature. The nature is that the lion or the cheetah is going to have to chase the deer, the elk, whatever it is, and then kill it in the end. But bottom line, it doesn't succeed past the pain process that they're supposed to have. They're supposed to run. That's part of their nature, to run, chase animals as a predator. But by human beings, we have to sweat and break our mind for parnasa, for belief in God, for trust in God. We have to break ourselves. Why? So a very nice explanation that I saw, a very, very beautiful explanation, that if everything was given to us like that, there would be no specialty in the mitzvot that we do. Imagine I understood in my mind, the parable I gave before, if I pour water on the floor and it spills, in my mind it clicks right away with the will of God, Ritzon Hashem. And when someone chas v'shalom hits somebody in someone's car and he's furious, and instead of being furious, his instinct was God wanted this car behind me to hit me. And the instinct would change the whole entire way of the world. There will be no nisayon, there will be no challenge for the person. And the second, there's no challenge for a person. We can't grow, and we're going to be exactly like the animals, exactly like the melachim. The melachim go into any levels. The melachim, there's a bunch of different levels for the melachim itself, for the level that he is for himself, and that's it. No, nothing more. But it itself, that the malach is going to do something that could be against the will of God, you can't see that happening. And because we have the potential in our hands to go against the will of God, and we do a mitzvah, and we wake up in the morning, and we go to shachrit, we stay for the shiur, we get rewarded for that, and we get for much more because what we could have just right now it's 9:15. I could have been in bed sleeping, or I could have gone to work and make more money, or it's Sunday, hang out with my family. Eat breakfast with my family. Instead, I chose to start my morning at 8 o'clock. I chose. It was my decision. So we see over there, and we have to understand this thing doesn't only tie in for parnasa and food. Every single aspect in our life, if we understand it, why does God do this to us? As we said, this was the introduction. And hopefully Rabbeinu B'chaye gives and says it like this, and this is the words: V'hatam shemachmato chiyev Hashem. את האדם מתעסק בסיבות הפרנסה ויתר על צרכיו נחלק לשתיים. And Rabbeinu B'chaye, after this whole introduction I give, tells this thing connects to two parts. Number one is to choose the human being, לבחור את האדם, and the second part is to make the person appreciate good. Because if good was easy to have, a child that his father makes money, or someone that has someone that has those cards, gas cards from the company, right? He's not going to appreciate the gas, right? He's going to drive all day, hit the gas, hit it hard, accelerate, doesn't care. Bottom line, but the second way you take away this car from him and he starts using his own money for his gas, he's I'm not going to hit the gas hard too. I'm going to exactly what I need to do. Eco mode, exactly. Hit the eco. Leave me alone. What happens? What happened over here? To appreciate. That's one of the reasons Rabbeinu B'chaye gets into a very, very deep and lengthy explanation with this. And now, to show the difference over here, I'll bring up what we spoke on Shabbat, the difference in the perspective and education of Aharon HaKohen and the perspective and education of Moshe Rabbeinu to his children. The Moshe Rabbeinu taught the children of Aaron mipi gvura. That's what Rashi said this week's parasha. That whoever brings, it's like someone that teaches his friend's son, the father brought him to this world, and this his friend that taught his children Torah brought him. Is going to bring him to the next world, and he's going to be. It's considered like he gave birth to him. He renewed him. And it said that Moshe Rabbeinu taught the children of Aaron Mipi HaGvura, in the name of Elokim. Now Aaron HaKohen wouldn't work with that in that sense. He would work in the Shem Havaya. How would that work? When he would, even the greatest moment, it could be the Aaron HaKohen leaving the Kodesh HaKodashim Yom Kippur, walking out. Everyone is with the Kohen Gadol with him, and then he'll see a child that that dropped out from school, not educated, sitting over there. He will stop the whole entire Pamalia, stop the whole entire group. Go over to him, give him a hug, give him a kiss on the head, and tell him, I see you to greatness in the Torah. Or whatever it was. He told him the right words. And the right words would change him completely. And it says that when this child, if I'm not mistaken the Midrash, if this child would want to do an Avera, go steal, rob someone, in that moment when he wants to do it, he'll stop. But how can I let down Aaron HaKohen? The great Aaron HaKohen comes to stop the whole entire group that he came out with the Kodesh Kodashim. And he comes and he came over to me and told me that he sees me for greatness. How could I let him down? So same thing by us. If God would act us with complete chesed, with complete kindness, and we would see with our own eyes that the water is spilling, it's God's will. Or if we're going to see this, we're completely going to go say it's God's will. If I'm going to pour a bottle of water and it goes upwards, I'll be like, this is a miracle. But the idea over here is that I'm going to lose the perspective and the worth of serving God even when it's hard for me. When I have another choice to do something else, but Hashem, hopefully we're going to talk about this tomorrow, the two answers, Baruch Adonai L'olam, Amen.